You know the headline to the last 24 hours is Mike Wilson's capitulated. He's moved from 4,500 to 5,400 and all of that. Can we just start with the skew, the wide range of outcomes? Because that was the headline of the piece. The bear case versus the bull case, has it ever been this wide?
Well, not for us. I think for other people, they've had wider skews. And look, it just reflects the uncertainty that has been the case for the last several years. And quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit both sides. You know, I mean, like, that's kind of the world we're in, which is, you know, think about this year, and we talked about this at the beginning of the year, which is we had three sort of equally similar sort of outcomes. One was a soft landing, just a Goldilocks, which is kind of consensus now, and that's our house view. Then you have the no landing, which is kind of a reacceleration, the stickier inflation, even maybe a stagflationary outcome, which is what the market was thinking about in April. And now you're back to a soft landing, but you still can't rule out a recession either, right? So, like, all of these are very possible, and you know, they could all happen with a higher than normal degree of, you know, certainty. So that's really the headline that should have been out, is that, look, nobody knows anything, right? I mean, and particularly at a point in time, and I think maybe our mistake is just admitting that we don't know as much as maybe everybody else claims to. That's called humility, something that we've learned the hard way over life. But anyways, the point here is that the meat of our report this year, or this update, was really more about how do you make money in an environment where you have basically 0% upside and the base case, and you could have 20% upside or 20% downside. And that's what clients pay us for, right? It's the process, it's understanding, okay, what kind of environment and how are we going to navigate that and manage that. So we spent a large part of the report yesterday talking about trade ideas, specific sector ideas. That's not the headline that people want to write about. That's fine. That's your prerogative. But that's what we want to talk about. That
was never going to fit in the headline.
No.
We will talk about some of that stuff in just a moment. Let's talk about the headline just briefly.
Sure.
Are you de-emphasizing the 5,400? Are you saying as a price target it's not actually that important to you and the firm? What is that?
Well, it's not important to most clients. Institutional clients don't care about the target on the S&P 500. Let's be honest. Like, they're trying to pick stocks. And look, one of the most important things we talked about in the report is alpha generation this year has been spectacular. The way we measure it with our client base, which is significant, is this is the best alpha generation, alpha capture we've seen since we've started recording it since 2010. So that's what people care about. We're trying to help them in that their process of, okay, what kinds of stocks work in this environment? Oh, by the way, when we skew from these different outcomes, you need to be ready to pivot towards different types of securities. Right now, like, our house call is it's a soft landing Goldilocks outcome. We're not that confident that we want to make that bet fully. Like, we think it's still late cycle, which means quality. Okay, large caps over small caps still. We like staples over discretionary. We have two defensive sectors overweight, utilities and staples, because that kind of protects against slowing growth risk. So there's a bunch of different things, but the main factor that's been working is quality. Quality's been the most consistent factor, and we don't see that changing.